This portrait captures Richard Wagner, a composer often associated with monumental mythic epics. Yet in his opera Die Mastersingers of Nuremberg, he moves away from gods and monsters to study the mechanics of human progress and societal stagnation. The story takes place in 16th century Nuremberg, a city defined by its powerful guilds and an intense devotion to cultural tradition. This community is governed by the tabulator, a strict, unyielding rulebook. It dictates every acceptable syllable and note, providing the Mastersingers with a rigid framework to judge all artistic expression. This rulebook functions as what philosopher O.G. Rose calls an indestructible map. It is a system of absolute internal consistency that the Mastersingers use to interpret and control the world around them. A society that relies entirely on a map that can never be changed eventually stops growing. It begins to prize the technician, the person who follows instructions perfectly, while leaving no space for the creator. Sixtus Beckmesser is the town's official marker and the enforcer of these standards. He lives as the literal embodiment of a process that has become detached from the life it was meant to serve. When a young knight enters the singing contest with a passionate, rule-breaking performance, Beckmesser retreats into a wooden box. He furiously covers a slate in chalk marks, tallying every moment the new song violates his established map. Beckmesser dismisses the music as a mad jumble because it fails to fit his pre-existing framework. He treats the territory of the music as an error, simply because his map has no symbols to represent it. This is the endpoint of AA logic. It is a closed loop of reasoning that seeks only to confirm itself and aggressively deflects anything new that might threaten its internal order. By closing the system, Beckmesser guarantees its decay. A society that refuses to update its map eventually starves for lack of new information. Walther von Stolzing is the direct antithesis to this rigid order. He arrives in Nuremberg representing raw, unmediated nature and the erratic energy of youth. Walther falls in love with the goldsmith's daughter, Eva, and immediately expects to win her hand. He has no patience for the town's slow requirements or the years of apprenticeship demanded of a master. This impatience stems from a demand for immediate justice. Walther is driven by a passion that sees its goal as an absolute right, viewing any delay as an insult. Walther sees the town's meticulous rules as a tedious, oppressive obstacle. To his mind, these protocols are chains to be broken, a view that rejects the very concept of a structured craft. When passion is left unmediated, it views all structure as tyranny. It seeks the goal without the journey, setting up a collision between two extremes that are both incapable of sustaining a society. The collision occurs the moment Walther sings. His complete rejection of the rules causes mass confusion and triggers a near riot among the Mastersingers. This gridlock is a Nash equilibrium. Each person acts rationally according to their isolated map, causing collective destruction. Rule keepers and rule breakers neutralize each other, leaving chaos. Hans Sachs calls this breakdown Wahn, collective madness, observing society tear apart without a shared language. Pure emotion without a structure is noise. Without a map to translate it, Walther's passion is just as unintelligible as Beckmesser's rules are lifeless. Hans Sachs is both a cobbler and a poet. He is the only character who understands that for a society to survive, it must find a way to honor both the rules and the inspiration. Sachs practices A-B logic. He is capable of holding opposing ideas in tension, recognizing the value of the knight's passion and the necessity of the master's traditions simultaneously. He identifies the Gödel point of his own world, the place where the old rules reach their limit. He hears the genius in Walter's song and realizes that for the guild to survive, its map must expand to include this new territory. By holding the rules in one hand and the knight's genius in the other, Sachs prevents the society from stagnating or rioting. He acts as the absolute knower, the one who understands that the map must evolve to survive the territory. Sachs also faces a personal conflict. He is a widower who cares for Eva, and he possesses the status to claim her for himself according to the very rules he serves. Sachs refuses to play the role of the jealous, hoarding king. This decision to empty himself of his own desires is what allows the next generation to find its own voice. Sachs shows Walther how to take the raw energy of his song and refine it. In philosophy, this is sublation, the act of preserving the core of an idea while raising it into a more complex, structured form. Sachs helps Walther negate the chaos of his song while elevating its beauty. By integrating his passion into a structure the community can hear, Walther wins the contest. He achieves his goal by creating a vision that the entire city can share. The story concludes that human flourishing is found neither in rigid tradition nor chaotic passion. It requires the difficult, ongoing marriage of both the map and the territory.